Hello, I'm Rachel from Douentza Garden in Ireland, and you're very welcome to this video about what to plant in August. Well, July is my birthday month, and as a treat I usually make a killing. I head off to a local nursery, Kilmurry Nursery, and buy a whole lot of beautiful plants, including these gorgeous ones you see in my hands here today. So with that in mind, I've asked Kilmurry Nursery to help me in making this video about what to plant in August and to share their knowledge and expertise. And it's very appropriate because, well, look behind me. You see a gap there? You see a big gap. I just got fed up with the plants that were in there, and now I have a gaping hole in my border. So I very much need to know what to plant in August. Anyone active in the plant scene here in Ireland will know all about Kilmurry Nursery because they attend all the plant fairs during the summer. And if you're lucky enough to live close by like I do, then you can visit their nursery in Gorey in North Wexford. Now, Kilmurry have an excellent reputation, winning 12 medals, RHS medals, over a 3-year period while their nursery was still quite young and they were still running it. And in 2006, they won a gold medal from the Chelsea show in London. Since then, they've been very involved with Bloom, which is the Irish equivalent of Chelsea, and runs each year. Now, the Kilmurry Nursery specialises in herbaceous perennials, like you see me holding here, grasses and ferns, and they have such an amazing mix. The business is family run, and today we're going to be speaking with Hazel, who's I suppose the youngest member of the family actively involved. Now, Hazel has a double degree in horticulture from the Botanic Gardens, also from UCD, and she was instrumental in setting up the online business during COVID. Oh, and before we get started, here's a fun fact. Kilmurry makes plant sets for filming that's done here in Ireland, and one day when I visited them, they were busy making a giant wreath for the Viking Valhalla series. Well, enough chatting from me. Let's just go and see what Kilmurry have to recommend to plant in August, because you know what? That hole isn't going to fill itself. Okay, off we go. Look, what gorgeous things have you brought for us today?
Yeah,
to show?
I've picked a great selection of plants, all kind of flowering from now right through until the first frost. The garden is kind of getting a bit dull this time of the year after such a explosion of colour early on in the summer. So I wanted to show you some kind of plants that you can use that will flower right through to the first frost.
Wonderful. Come on, show us.
So I have a couple of different salvia varieties here. Salvias are great, there's hundreds of different varieties, but here in the nursery we would have over 20 different varieties, all varying in heights from a foot all the way up to 5-6 foot. And also the flower shapes vary as well, from very small to quite large, as well as being very scented foliages, which is great because they're great for containers or in the border. So this one in particular is Salvia Delice Aquamarine. So it's a beautiful aquamarine clear blue salvia. So this is a free flowering salvia, meaning it flowers from May right through freely until the first frost without deadheading.
My God.
I know, it does so much for a plant.
Wow.
So it might need a bit of a tidy up when these kind of end and they get a bit straggly looking. You just tidy it up down to where it meets the node in the centre. And other than that, it will just flower and flower and flower, really highly scented. It would be considered a kind of sub-shrub, and I have a few other varieties similar in leaf shape and flower shape, but different colour. So this is another one. This is Delice Rose Lilac, beautiful pink colour. Again, free flowering, so a great variety for flowering for so long. So the key with these salvias is to not cut them back hard in the winter. So the way you would do it would be to cut them around a third off the top after they finish flowering at the first frost. That way this old growth acts as a protection during the winter. Then in the spring, when it starts to shoot up all that lovely fresh foliage, you tidy all that last year's growth down, and then you'll have a lovely fresh plant again, because they have a tendency to get quite woody and then they'll form a horrible woody plant. Whereas if you keep them tidied up in the springtime after kind of the frost has passed, you will have a beautiful green lush plant all year round.
Fantastic. What other salvias have you got there?
This is Aphrodite, lovely peachy kind of colour, very unusual, but highly scented foliage as well. So these will all get up to around 2 foot in height and make lovely big plants.
Wow.
So that's Aphrodite. I have Jemima's Gem, which is beautiful red, like a cerise kind of red. Bigger flower than the other ones. This will get up to a little bit taller in height. Again, beautiful, and this seems to be more scented. I know the viewers can't smell it, which is unfortunate, but it is another beautiful variety.
My viewers love scented plants.
And then this one is another gorgeous one. This would be quite a shorter variety, and this is Oriental Dove.
This is the one I was holding this morning that I bought from you last time I was here, and the scent from the leaves and
it is
from the
beautiful.
flowers.
Like, you just have to brush past it and the smell is beautiful. So this one is actually a two-tone. So it's got the light purple at the base of the petal and then darker purple as you come in. So quite different and unusual with the two-tone colour. So again, that's one of those kind of sub-shrub ones, not to cut it back too hard for the winter, and it'll come again beautiful next year. I do have one more salvia, but this one would be considered more of a herbaceous salvia. So this one will actually die back down for the winter and come back next year. So you can cut this right down around 1 inch or 2 from the base and it will come again next year. So much hardier than the kind of sub-shrub salvias. So this is Salvia nemorosa, Caradonna pink. So the nemorosas are the hardier of all of the salvia varieties. So great if you are in that location that would be a little bit more frost prone.
And tell me, Hazel, what species name should we look out for the sub-shrub salvias?
Yeah, so
Regii?
there's a couple of different ones, yeah. So there's the Macrophylla, like Macrophylla hot lips. There's the Gregorii, as well as like there is the Amante and Amistad pink. There's loads of different varieties, but yeah. So now I'm going to talk about a few different grass varieties. So grasses are really good this time of the year. They are beautiful, adding structure, texture, as well as like sound and movement in the garden. So grasses are great because they're not really evergreen, but they will hold their structure and shape for the winter, as well as turning kind of oaty golden colours over the winter. So I'm going to talk about 3 different varieties, kind of my 3 kind of favourites. So this one is Pennisetum Carly Rose. So isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
Aren't those bottle brush like flowers gorgeous? So they're around 10 centimeters in length. Pennisetums are great for in your flower borders. Loves full sun, well drained soil, doesn't like to be too wet. So this is lovely this time of the year. It's kind of been flowering for 6 weeks, I'd say, so far. So you'll get probably another 6 weeks out of it. But then these will change to a beautiful kind of oaty colour. And then so will its foliage. So it will stand like that for nearly the whole winter. So it is adding a different element to the garden, as well as you can take the heads off them and spray them for flower arranging. Yeah. So that is a Pennisetum. So it is beautiful, adding that kind of wispiness to the garden. Next, I'm going to talk about a Melinia or moor grass. So Melinias are great for that damp spot that you can't really get anything to grow in. So this is moorhex. So this is a beautiful cylindrical grass. Only gets up to around 2 foot 60 centimeters in height and stays that shape. So it's just in flower now, and it starts very closed and tight and then opens up lovely. So it is starting to turn a little bit reddy, kind of reddy golden at the edges, and then this will turn golden during the winter. So it will stay like that during the winter and add a lovely airiness. So it's great at kind of like the front of a border, like they stand like soldiers nearly. Yes, yeah. So it is great for something different. People don't use grasses, and I think they're afraid to use grasses, but they are fantastic for this time of the year to give something different to the garden.
I love grasses.
Next is if you have kind of like a big area, Miscanthus sinensis. So this is Herman mussel. So it's another beautiful variety. It's just starting to open. So it turns that pinky colour to begin with, and then it goes into silver as it fades, and then it'll go completely goldeny kind of grey colour then for the winter and hold its shape. So this is quite a big variety. He normally gets up to nearly my height, 5 foot, makes a nice big clump. So Miscanthuses are great if you have a big area to fill, because they do get quite big. But it is beautiful, like that blowing in the breeze, what creates.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it does create a beautiful feature in the garden. So that is my 3 favourite grasses at the moment. So this is Monarda Prairie Noct. So it's a beautiful, deep purple Monarda. Monarda is actually commonly called bergamot, for those who don't know. So Monardas are...
It does smell like it, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. People will smell it and be like, I know that smell. So it's bergamot. So Monardas are great for a kind of wet soil, heavy soil. Flowers this time of the year, so it's great to add a bit of height and colour this time of the year. So this is Prairie Noct, beautiful variety. Again, highly scented. I think I have a thing for scented foliage today.
Do you know what? It matches your t-shirt beautifully. You should just wear it there and
walk around with my Monarda. Yeah, so this is Prairie Noct. We do loads of other varieties, but this is a favourite of ours at the minute. It is mildew resistant as well, so it doesn't really get mildew as much as the other varieties.
Okay, and why would Monarda get mildew normally? Is it damp?
Yeah, kind of when you reach this time of the year, the weather is getting a little bit damper, so things are more prone to get mildew. So like asters get mildew as well. They flower this time of the year, so it is to do with the damp weather. Some are more susceptible than others. So another plant great for that wet kind of spot that you can't really get something to grow in is Lythrum. So Lythrum is fab for this time of the year. It's beautiful. This particular variety is Blush.
Oh, I bought this one from you last year, my birthday treat last year. It's fantastic.
It is a really great plant. So beautiful, blush pink, around 2 to 3 foot in height, and is great for that kind of heavy clay that we have here in Wexford. So as I said, flowers this time of the year. It's only really starting to get going now, so it will flower right through August into September. So a really great plant for late summer flowering. It is available in loads of other colours, but this one at the minute is my favourite. So this is Rudbeckia, or Black-Eyed Susan. So most people would know Rudbeckias or Black-Eyed Susans. They are a fantastic, reliable plant. Comes back year after year and is a showstopper. A little bit later flowering this year than usual, probably because of the weather we've been having. It hasn't been amazing for the garden, so it is only starting to come into flower now. But this is Goldstrum, so it's beautiful gold flowers, 2 foot in height, and does make a nice big substantial plant.
And it's covered in buds, that one, isn't it? Absolutely covered.
Yeah. It's only literally just getting going, so it will probably flower right through into September at least. But it is a great plant. I kind of think everyone needs Rudbeckia in their garden for late colour. Not scented, which is unfortunate, but it is pretty nonetheless. So this is a Nepeta, or cat's mint. So it has a lovely minty scent off the foliage and the flowers. Beautiful for in a container or in the kind of front of a border. So this one in particular is Grandiflora Summer Magic. So Grandiflora means it's got big grand flowers, kind of a bit thicker than the standard Walker's Low or Six Hills Giant the flowers would be. So it's a great plant for flowering. Will normally flower twice during the year, which is great. So flowers kind of May, June, you give it a bit of a haircut. So kind of once these main flower stems go, bring it right down to where it meets the stems down here. And then it should reflower again. Maybe give it a bit of a feed with a slow release fertilizer, and it should reflower again. Now, lastly, This is Agapanthus Kilmurry White. So we have a full range of plants that are actually bred here in the nursery by my dad, Paul.
Wow.
So this one is a beautiful Agapanthus, pure white with a kind of large flower on it. This is evergreen foliage and flowers for up to 6 months of the year. So it would be extremely rare for an Agapanthus to flower for so long. Will do great in a container or in the border. We've actually seen a container, was it in Arklow, and it had 40 flower stems. The container was never touched and it was just jumping out of it. So it is a great...
When does it start into flower then?
Kind of end of May, June time it would nearly be in bud.
But that's really early for Agapanthus, isn't it?
So like here's one that's just in bud. So you can see it is beautiful. It is a short Agapanthus, only around up to a foot and a half kind of, but it does beautiful in a container. You could just fill a whole container with heads of white. It is a beautiful plant.
And is it more likely to flower if kept constrained in a
like
container?
all Agapanthus, it likes to be confined, yeah. So that is Kilmurry White.
And I suppose people don't realise about the long flowering when they go to buy a perennial. They just look at what the flowers look like now.
Yeah, exactly. So there is so many different varieties out there compared to what you can get in your garden centre. There is such a limited varieties in the garden centres, and like we grow over nearly 1,000 different varieties here ourselves in the nursery.
1,000 different varieties of plants?
Yes, of her
Not Agapanthus.
No, not it was, yes. Sorry. Imagine.
Collection, world collection.
No, of different herbaceous grasses and ferns. Like we grow over 1,000 different varieties. So there is so much more than what you can actually get in your local garden centre.
Wow. Do you know, I have a confession to make, Hazel.
Yeah.
I do not have Goldstrom in my garden. I used to have it and I don't know what happened. But when we started this video, I was in front of a big border in my garden with lots of yellow lilies in the background. I just cleared a space. And don't you think this Goldstrom would look just fantastic in there? So I think I'm not going to leave Kilmurry today without one of these. And thank you so much, Hazel, for your insights into how to grow these plants so well, and also these fantastic cultivars as well. But do you know what? Talking to you here now and learning about the hybridization process that goes on, I also know that at the moment you're very actively involved in seed sowing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, the propagation tunnel is heaving at the minute with seed trays.
So if Hazel will have us back again, I would just love to come back and make a video about the seed sowing process that you carry out
definitely.
here. Let's see how it's done professionally. I know we all do a few seeds in our greenhouses on our windowsills, but it would be wonderful to see how it's done professionally. And you don't do tissue culture, do you?
No.
Don't? Okay, so it's information that we can all translate to our own
There'd be some little hint or tip that you could use at home. Yeah.
Okay, and so today, just a reminder, we were talking to Hazel from Kilmurry Nursery, and if you are in Ireland, you can visit the nursery. Also, Kilmurry go to all of the plant fairs
around the country,
and they also have a website and do mail order just for the 32 counties of Ireland. Okay, so sorry to those abroad, but it is worth noting for Northern Ireland as well that Kilmurry will post to you. And I believe you were responsible for setting up that website.
Yes, originally. I did, yeah. So 2 weeks into COVID lockdown, pulling my hair out. What will I do? Oh, I'll set up a web shop.
And you really did. And what I really love is that they have a wonderful Christmas present for all of you gardeners out there. It's like a surprise bundle. Or something. Tell us about that a bit.
So
I've always wanted somebody to buy me that.
Hint, hint, nod, nod. So it's basically for Christmas you get a gift voucher straight to the person you're giving it to, and then in the springtime, normally end of February, they get a surprise box of herbaceous delivered to their door when everything is woken up that little bit more and it's actually time to get out into the garden. Rather than Christmas you get a box of plants and you're like, oh great, it's lashing rain outside and horrible. So it is a good gift for a gardener, and they might get something different that they have never had before.
Absolutely, a wonderful thing to look out for. And when I see that popping up, when Hazel pops it up on Facebook, I will share it to the Facebook page. Okay,
Super.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
It's been a real eye-opener, and as always, fantastic plants.
Oh, thank you so much.
I learned a lot today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you also to everybody for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Perhaps we will see you on the next video, who knows.
Super, thank you.
Bye. And it's me again, just with a little outtake, and I just wanted to show you a bonus plant and to show you what I'm going to plant in that space behind, which is very, very yellow with that large Manissa lily. And well, yes, you saw the Rudbeckia. I picked myself up a beautiful Rudbeckia Goldstrom, a must-have plant, as Hazel said, and also a taller one. So this is a Helianthus, and you saw it in flower there at Kilmurry Nursery, a beautiful double Helianthus called Soleil d'Or. And this is going to provide a tall presence at the back of that border there. So yeah, I better get on with planting.